Back with good old episode 10. Uh, I think OBS froze. OBS? Oh, nope, OBS. Encoding overload. Okay, OBS, that's the first time you've had an issue with anything. Let's just spin the wheel before my whole computer just blows up for some reason. Yeah, we're hoping for something good. Rankle? Or is it Gimbal? It is. Okay. He's not a great commander, let's be honest. That's still Bruna. My friend sent me something with Bruna, and I wanted to see uh, anything that they sent me was good. It wasn't. Let's see what Gimbal has. Yeah, artifact creature with trample, and you want different types of tokens. Okay, is that the beginning of my end step? Yeah, that's gonna be good. I think I can work with this. Truth be told, Gimbal, I think got rated F. The pre-con at least, which I can't disagree with, was rated F by Command Zone, which I don't disagree with. His pre-con and him were just not great, but I think I can get something to work here. So I will build this and then be back after that. And we are back in episode 10. I want to say it's episode 10. I think it's episode 10. It is episode 10 with probably one of the worst commanders from March of the Machine in general, being Gimbal, which, I mean, he'll get better with time, obviously, with the more artifact tokens you create that come out. But I think I have a pretty good deck built for him here today, and I hope everyone agrees with that. And if you don't, I won't be mad. Different token makers. These are all going to be making a lot of different tokens that will obviously buff up his gremlins that he makes. You know, you get the new map tokens, which I've never seen played yet. You get a Power Stone, you get a Thopter, you get the Clue, you get a book. I've seen this guy played once and it just seemed annoying, but you get a free colorless artifact. You get a Ice Manolith. You get if you pay the kicker, you get Sky Relics. You get a Construct, Clouds, Incubate tokens. And then if you flip it over, it's a zero. You get two for this one. You get two for the price of four, or well, you're gonna get more obviously with Incubate X. But these are all going to be different tokens that you're making to buff up his red gremlin tokens. I didn't read what he does. I should probably do that quick. Artifact creatures, you have trample, and then at the beginning of end step, create a 0/0 red gremlin artifact creature token. Put X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of differently named artifact tokens. So obviously you're going with differently named token, which is why we have just a plethora of random stuff. Uh, yeah, double them up. You're going to be making, if you have both of these out, you're going to be making, what, three of the tokens? And then three tokens, more with, hey, don't spoil that. And then more for any of these that you're using with it. You're going to be making three Thopters. You can make a whole bunch of dolls with the Construct. I make a whole bunch of Cloud. You're making a whole bunch of Phyrexian Incubate tokens, which I low-key love Incubate, so that's awesome. You're going to be making extra Monoliths for extra mana. These two are in a kind of auto-include in this deck, in my opinion. Yeah, they're expensive, but it's kind of worth it. And they have gone down in price with how many reprints they've had recently from Commander Masters and then the Wilds of Eldraine specials. Unexpected tokens. For these, you're going to be, Helm of the Hosting, Gimbal, and you can make a copy of Helm of the Host to get 2 triggers off of it. For a lot of these, it's just to add differently named tokens and kind of surprising them out of nowhere. Because I'm trying to think how I'll word this. for a lot of your stuff, you need to have differently named tokens, and there are only so many artifact token makers in these colors in green, blue, red. With Sahili, you get a free one, and yeah, sure, it gains haste at the beginning of the end step, but you can trigger it so its sacrifice is after the Gimbal trigger. Ovar is for flickering your own artifacts because you can copy them. Schema Thief came in the pre-con, so you can hit someone and then get a copy of it. In Twine, you can obviously choose an artifact and then a non-artifact creature. You choose Gimbal, as long as you have like a Helm of the Host Gimbal. And I mean, a lot of the things you can make multiple Helm of the Host. Yeah, they're 9 mana to cast and equip, but you really should be able to make that mana with all the token stuff that you're making. Mirror works, you're going to be paying 2 to create a token, so if you get a soul ring, pay 2, you get 2 soul rings and a token one, which will help Gimbal. Pumping up and smash. A lot of this stuff is for pumping up creatures and then smashing them, making sure they can't be blocked, pumping them up even harder because Gimbal gives them trample. Whisper Silk so they can't be blocked. What's our end game, though, in general? Because, doubling Season Helm of the Host, 2 extra Gimbals, and then they have their end step triggers. Helm of the Host is one of the best cards for a lot of these kinds of decks. What's our end game? Another old classic. If you get to the point where this is quite literally just copied and pasted from Ashad's deck, but if you can make a whole bunch of Bruna, like a whole bunch of tokens from Gimbal. Holfree was the last video I just made, and that's why I sound like I've been talking for 7 days straight. You're gonna have a whole bunch of tokens from all the Gimbals, and then you can just make a copy Blightsteel Colossus, Brunaclad it, and then annihilate your opponents with all of them. And really, in my opinion, you don't really need it, but you kind of want to sometimes. That's the thing. Especially since they're indestructible and they don't turn back to their original tokens, so all these will stay. And if you can find some way to keep them untapped, you're going to have some kind of blockers, or if you don't swing in with all of them, you're going to have some blockers. A whole lot of Gremlins. For this, it's counting on the Helm of the Host, Doubling Season, and Parallel Lives, and just being able to make all, like, low-key, the Gremlin is cute, and I hate that the commander isn't great. And I'll be the first to admit that he isn't a great commander. He kind of just, he's not the best in general for artifacts. And having to be differently named artifact tokens helps him from just flooding the board with a whole bunch of treasures, but it also holds him back at the same time. Either way, I think making a whole bunch of Gimbals and then obviously end stepping them and having a whole bunch of Gremlins kind of works for it, especially since with doubling season, it also doubles the counters on it and not just the amount of tokens like Parallel Lives does. But yeah, I think Gimbal has the chance to start getting better and better and better with all the differently named tokens that we're going to get. Because we're getting junk tokens with the Fallout. We're probably going to get some new token in Murders at Karloff. We got the map tokens from Lost Caverns. And each set keeps kind of adding new tokens and new ways to get tokens. And with Helm of the Host, you can target these other creatures just to get more of them. You don't have to target Gimbal. Obviously, you want to. But you can target stuff like Schema Thief. You can target stuff like Brunaclad Blightsteel. And you don't have to use Helm. I mean, yeah, I would suggest using Helm on Gimbal, but you don't have to, kind of thing. And with green, you're going to obviously ramp immensely into the mana. But that is all I got for Gimbal. I think being the worst of the pre-con commanders, or one of the worst of the pre-con commanders from March the Machine, is a big thing because if you his deck isn't built for him in my opinion. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It works better with the secondary commander, which is I don't fully remember, truth be told. But yeah, you look you I like him, and I think I'd have a lot of fun playing this deck. But in terms of a tier list, he's not going to be very high up there. Either way, I hope you all like the video. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And I will see you next episode, which I need to finish. Uh, Pulling back the curtain real quick. I need to finish the slideshow for and record that, which probably won't happen today. But yeah, thank you all for watching and have a wonderful day.